Today we're at the second day of the embedded world and I'm really excited to see what's going on. There was already a disaster in the parking situation because there is another exhibition starting. There is something about tourism and leisure time, and I think from my perspective this is meanwhile getting a real huge crowd of cars who are looking for parking lots. On the second day here now really I concentrate on the hall number 4 and 5 and 5A or 4A, looking for tools and looking for details in the software belonging dedicatedly to the embedded world. I'm really excited to see what's going on. Enjoy it and stay tuned, and let's see what's going on today. Bye bye.
And the major difference this time was not the drive on the Autobahn, but it was simply the fact that the moment I arrived and I was looking for a parking lot, it was quite a hell to get it. And it was a quite distant march towards the halls there. And it was something like, I think, roughly 1 kilometer or 1.5 kilometers. I tried to get the bus or to catch the bus, but it was fully crowded, all of these buses. So somehow I missed it all the time. And then finally I have had to walk the whole area, and you see how many cars there are. It's really an awesome amount of spectators, of visitors available. And there was this fabulous surprise in the arriving here. I entered the hall, and what did I see here? I was so shocked as I saw, what are these guys are doing there? It seems to be, what are these? But a little bit I was really astonished, as there is the age of the spectators, of the visitors, was quite different. And then finally I got the resolving here, or it was resolved. It was not, these guys are not waiting for the entrance towards the embedded world, but this was to the other exhibition about leisure time and so on. So finally I got my entrance here without any further disturbance. It was really an easy way to enter the halls one day again, second day on the embedded world. This day I started with Hall 4A, which is reserved for mainly the software tools and other exhibitors belonging to embedded stuff in the supportive area. The first highlight was the FreeTLS, a FreeTLS implementation, a cryptographic software library tailored especially for constrained devices like embedded devices, with something like roughly 40 kilobyte code size, very small footprint, runnable on ARM and free processors, and the best thing, freely available with the third quarter 2017. So that was the presentation by CryptoSource. One of my personal favorites was Asavus Vision GmbH with a system for head and eye tracking or face identification. We provide a face recognition library for embedded system. It's called directly by the application layer and provides recognition of the eyes, face detection and so on. Everything available for self-driving vehicles. Clever provides mainly automotive-based software suite to supervise and gather timing situations on your target systems. We have a code analysis, we have stack analysis, we have supported hardware in the x86 or ARM area, and we provide a dynamic collection of runtime data during operation time. And then there was this banana stamping machine at the Halcon booth, where it was all about machine vision and deep learning. So we give one banana with a printed pattern as a reference, and the system itself recognizes the reference. And the next time you give a different banana, the pattern will be stamped at the same location. All done by this application or by this library provided by Halcon for machine vision. It's very often used, for example, for board and wafer die inspection, medical image analysis, automotive and robotics, but also for things like harvesting apples in the Benelux. All apples are checked on the fly. Do they have pressure marks, bad or rotten spots or other defects? And some examples are given as reference. The system learns by itself and the user's feedback to decide appropriately which is the good apple and not. And in this case, it were the bananas, of course. One example of a typical service provider to move out your development activities on specific levels, it's RTsoft. We provide board support packages, drivers, middlewares and APIs, especially for Contron or also Advantech hardware. We mainly provide Linux experts for embedded products. However, their expertise is very broad, and we have also support Or they do also support major other operating systems like, for example, VxWorks, LinksOS, Android, or bare metal hypervisors. It's a typical example of a supporting company. My personal highlight of this second day was the Fraunhofer ASICs and wireless sensors booth. About Equivert, it's a new solution for dizziness therapy. I got it in discussion with Michael Bohlerot and Burkhard Heidemann, and they explained to me that the biggest problem of dizziness are coordination difficulties. If you become dizzy, it might happen you stumble, fall down and hurt yourself. So the system, or this system, Equivert, let you train your balance in a new way. If one channel is disrupted or corrupted, you learn it in a different way to sustain your balance. It does an equilibrium training by providing biofeedback. How does that look like? The moment you start to stagger or fluctuate with your body, this system recognizes even differences up to 1 degree from your perpendicular axis and gives you a tone feedback. So as stronger you're out of your vertical, as stronger and with more pitch you hear the tone in the earphone. If you go back to the perpendicular, the tone goes back to silence. So thus you can train your stability and consistency in stance by using the other body sensors. This is quite a long explanation, and I will have a more detailed explanation and also overview in the podcast. So go to there to see further details. And then there was Grammatex Code Sonar. They provide a static code analysis combined with a binary code analysis. So it's no longer necessary that you upload the code, that you upload all these static details. They do it completely by themselves on the binary level, so you can evaluate third-party libraries without any kind of problem. Of course, such a day in such a big exhibition is rather a long story, and it's not quite sufficient to do all this kind of summary in a pure video which has roughly 10 minutes duration. Of course, there are so many companies which are which would be worthwhile to be mentioned. However, there is simply not the time. And as also mentioned in the first video or in the podcast, there are also some guys, some companies who do not want to be on the video, who are not contributing to all this kind of reporting. But on the other side, if I look what I have gathered at these 2 days, it's quite an amazing amount of details, it's quite an amazing amount of impressions. And that's something who could be really done also by yourself. See, for example, this car which was completely built out of wood. This is really amazing, but of course it has nothing to do with embedded systems. But on the other side, it's a very interesting story, and it's a very interesting part to see, and also to discuss with the guys a little bit what is behind of all that jazz. And this is the best opportunity to do these things, especially if you have something particular in mind you want to see, you want to visit. To my biggest surprise, it was not that crowded as I have had in mind. So there was always the time to get into some closer connection, to get into some deeper discussion with all the relevant persons. On the other side, there are these big players who were all the time crowded. When just before I wanted to leave, I stumbled over this guy here.
So the semaphore is just me waiting for the flag. Hey, I read the security keys. Then I do Wicked Network Up, and Wicked Network Up scans all of the 5 domain. Gets a DHCP address, gets all the routing stuff, gets all the routing going, and gets attached to the network.
Okay, well, you can have some kind of an eye catcher at your booth, but you also can have some kind of carnival barker who is doing the whole show by himself. It was an amazing presentation.
Well, that was the second day of the Embedded World, and I can tell you guys it's really exhausting. There are so many exhibitors, there are so many offerings, there are so many booths, there are so many interesting facts and details. I cannot enumerate them, and therefore this selection in this video is only a small amount of details which are available at the Embedded World. So I have not the request, or I'm not representative of all the details, of course not. So I hope there is something of interest inside of these videos for you guys, and I hope you enjoy it. If you like the videos, if you enjoy what you have seen, if it's something what you're really interested in, please give me a thumb up or press the like button below. I would be really happy and I appreciate this kind of support. And otherwise, I would be also happy if we could see each other at the next year in the Embedded World here in Nuremberg. Or if you listen to the podcast at embeddedsuccess.com, there is the Mastering Embedded Systems podcast. Maybe there is something in for you. That's all for today. See you. Bye-bye.